Okay, so on this video we're going to talk about, well, I'm going to call it crime punishment, you know, things that's going on around town. I mean, you've read a lot of it lately, there's been a lot happening. We've had fires, bikes getting stolen, murders, etc. People jumping on rooftops, chucking tiles off. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ian, I Explore. Today, as you just heard me telling you, this is about things what's happening around town. Probably, I don't know, the bad bits, let's say. But then again, there's things happen in every town. Murders, robbing, stealing, fires, you name it, etc. Okay, so let's move on from here. I'll just show you quickly where I am. I'm like around where the old the ice house was over there. Okay, there'll be a video on that coming up shortly. Somebody did ask me in the comments. Okay, let's move on. Right, history tells us that there's always been murders, robberies, gangs, drugs, every village, town, dark lane, subway, I don't know, badly lit area, whichever. But back in the day when it was really dark, no lighting, no nothing, just your fires, what went on? I mean, you could carry swords around then, couldn't you? Knives, daggers, whatever. If somebody got on your nerves, you went around and cut their throat or stabbed them. Nowadays, if you did that, you'd be definitely in prison. But that's what happened. That's what it was like. And also now, our homes, let's think about that one. Back then, you was in a, I don't know, a roundhouse made of straw, this, that and the other. They just burn it down. You know, sod you wouldn't know, you'd be dead. Smoke inhalation, all that lot. Nowadays, in the 21st century, we have things like smoke detectors, we have ring alarms for everything, isn't there? I mean, I've got cameras. You know, you can go down the street on your phone, look if anybody's trying to get in, watch your dog, you know, that sort of stuff going on. But yeah, that's what we've got now. But way back when you didn't have that sort of thing, whew, it must have been really difficult. And you think about it, there you are laid there, belly full of wild boar or deer that you stole off his lordship's land, filled your boots and you was asleep. And drinking mead. Yeah, the water were bad, so all you had was beer back then. Bit like now really, isn't it? No, but anyway, that's what went on. I mean, point in question, see, that's the Mariners over there, that went up in smoke last year. Okay, again, somebody was on the roof and then they torched it. We don't know why, don't know. Nothing seems to happen, does it? You notice that? You know, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I've read some of the things that I've seen on Facebook and that. People get the bikes stolen or your motorbike, your car, and that's it. Do they ever get found? Do they do anything about it? And then, from, you know, I'm only saying what I found online, this isn't me. You know, I'm just quoting other people. You know, things like, well, yeah, they catch them. You know, if slap on the wrist, away you go. And I don't know. It seems to have gone all wrong, but that's today, isn't it? I mean, back then, let's say, I mean, I think I've done this before. In the 17th century, if it's a witch, 1645, whoa, you were burning a stake just for having a wart or something like that, or a freckle. I got loads of them. You was burnt. Or if you stole something, they chop your hands off. I think they still do that in some countries, don't they? I don't know. I've heard of that before. I'm not quite sure which country, but anyway. I know they still have the electric chair in America, don't they? In some states. I mean, I'm not up on all that, by the way. I'm just probably too much, Shelly. But you see what I'm getting at? They get away with it, and then that's it. It's amazing, isn't it? All right, sometimes when it's really bad, they don't. I mean, you know, they get locked up for life, which is what some of them should be. But yeah, and they'll come out and do it again. More than likely. I think we've heard that story before, haven't we? But I like your opinions on this anyway. So while I'm just down here, I'm just gonna, you've already seen where I am now, all round here. But I mean, a lot of what's going on, things like what I've just said, is due to the current climate, isn't it? You know, history tells us that governments do this. They cut money, things like that, to get more taxes. This happened in the past in medieval times. You know, your landlord would make his tax high, get more money for himself so he could build an army. Well, I don't know what this one's doing. putting more tools in his toolbox apparently, because he's the tool maker. Only what I've read online, people, I don't, you know, I'm not political, I'm just saying. But it's history though, isn't it? People are going to remember this. You know, oh, we were, I don't know, people that are young, like younger than myself. Oh yeah, we had to queue up, but get food from, you know, one of the food banks, which is not far from me actually, where I am now. I've seen a few of them. I think I mentioned I used it once, a long time ago. But luckily, you know, I got some work and that was all right. But in this day and age, I do not know how that's going to happen. So I think that's why things are happening like that. You know, you always see a police car outside Asda, shoplifting. That's going on a lot lately. But it's only because they want to survive. I don't think some of them do it, yeah, we get that, for other substances. But majority are doing it because they're hungry. They've got no other choice. And they shouldn't be like that, I don't think. But it is, isn't it? That's the way things are. Another one while I'm just studying, I know I keep doing a bit of history. That's where the Colchester Arms was on there, that great big pub. Yeah, built the flats and, well, there you go. I mean, they could have left it, couldn't they? Historic building. There's a school over there. You've probably seen that by now, by the way. He's on a video, the roof there. So there you go. So I'm going to move on a bit and let's have a quick look round, I suppose. I'll go around and see if, you know, I can see something happening live. You never know, do you? I have been out doing other filming and I've happened to come across a fire or somebody doing something. You've probably seen them on some of my videos. I think the scrapyard was a good one, and recently the back of the art school there on Eleanor Street, that was set on fire. Okay, so let's move on. Right, now this is nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm currently on Nelson Street at the side of the Freeman Street Market. I wonder what's going to happen in here, look. What's going to happen to this? Is this going to get knocked down? By the way, again. Oh yeah, they knocked the load down to build this, didn't they? Well, it looks like. Either it's here to get people out, which I doubt that, or it's going to get knocked down. This is where the White Bear was. Let's move around here. There you go, yeah, all the way down here. There's not the other end down. So here you go. Again, you see people break in there and asleep. Well, they're not breaking in for breaking in sake of crime. They've got nowhere else to go. But there's all these empty buildings to put, you know, like that, isn't there? You know, I believe everybody's big about this boat thing, what they keep saying around, I don't know. But they're just desperate as well. I mean, all right, some of them are paying stupid amount of money and they're drowning in the sea, but they're just desperate, that's all it is. It's the way of the world nowadays, isn't it? You've got to do stuff to survive. You sort of, we're not going forwards, we're going backwards, even though we're on the 21st century. It's mad, isn't it? You have to risk your life to do something like that. I recently watched, well, it's probably been out a while ago now, a series called Years and Years, and it showed you things like that on there. You know, people doing desperate things to get to where you want to be. I suppose that's why a lot of, like I was saying, a lot of people are, you know, doing crime and that, resorting to crime, because that's the way they've got to live. But there you go. But anyway, I'm going to say I'd like to know all your opinions on this one. I bet a load you have. But my comments box is going to be absolutely very full on this. But okay, yeah, let's keep going. On to the quick one. It's basically where the smelly car park used to be. Yeah, this building's still here, isn't it, at the same time as well. Going up to Railway Street. All right, let's move on. The catch someone. Yeah, very rare occurrence, isn't it? And where do they take them? Well, there's a new custody suite up near Moody Lane, Birching Way. You know, where the McDonald's and that is, just for sort of reference, so that you know. And then you get dragged into here. I said, oh, not on bad money. Look at that thing going in there, look, you guys. Yeah? There's the old police in there, look. You come here. Drag you in there, but I don't think they do now. I think they take you to that new millions of pound custody suite. Yeah, they'll build one of them. Why do we need another one, you ask yourselves? So yeah, so this is where the police is, in there. I went in there once on the Duke and Edinburgh Award scheme for a look-see. Probably it's uprated by now. They did have cameras in there, and apparently if you touch the wall, the alarm went off. And obviously some of them was when we did it. Yeah, and police come from nowhere. So there you go. That's it. I walk along here. Don't know how long the key. I don't know anything much about the place, to be fair. I know the history and that, the Peelers and the Bow Street Runners. I know a bit about that, but they used to hit you then, didn't they? It's a bash you with a truncheon now for the up for inquiry and get done for police brutality, I believe. The police car going down there, look, something happening in town. Okay, so then they'll get your lawyers, all that kind of thing, and you end up in here. Another one, they knocked the Hewitt's Brewery down to build, didn't they? Well, the bill would do, wouldn't they? There you go. That's the magistrates. I don't know the difference, by the way. I think is that really bad crimes going that one? I don't know. I'm not 100%. Actually, I'm not really up on this. You lot probably could tell me better than I can. And you got the old telecom building over there, which that is empty, by the way, where the camera's looking now. I believe, I think that one is as well. I'm not really sure, but I heard that's where the DWP are based, in there. Because I went in, by the way, for an inquiry once over the road, the job centre, and they said, oh, they pointed to it. So that's a bit of a giveaway, wasn't it? Right, okay, let's carry on and go into town. Right, cameras. Yes, I've got a camera. But now we put cameras everywhere, don't we? In our cars, on our bikes, even I've got one on my bike when I go out on it. Body cameras, when you're walking around, you just never know, do you, what's going to happen. You've probably seen many videos online with people wearing body cams. Yeah, I've got one, but I haven't got it on today, as you can see. But I have got a camera with me which switches on really fast. And if anything happens, I just turn it round, you know, like that. But that's what we've got in it, even at our homes, like I was mentioning. There's all sorts. We have to have that nowadays because the crime rate must be up. It's got to be in it for us to do all this kind of thing. But then in the past, right? Okay, think of a castle. You tried to attack a castle. It'd have an outer bailey, an inner bailey. It'd have a portcullis. It'd have somebody chucking rotten meat at you. You know, cow tongue and all that thrown at you. And then you got the boiling oil, the arrows thrown at you, that kind of thing. See, same things, isn't it? If you like. But back then you were dead. Nowadays, you have to hope that your video surveillance is good enough. I mean, you think about it back then, wow, better get out, arrow straight through the head. Or, what's the other thing now? Knife crime's big in it, and guns, apparently. There was once, I don't know if it still is, video games have influencing it. And then they changed it from anybody could get it. I think you have to be 18 now, or 21. Something like that. I remember when I got the latest Call of Duty, all these questions. I mean, really? It was, all right, yeah, I get it. They have to do it. But, I mean, it took time. But I guess it just stopped, the young ones getting influenced by it, I suppose. That's probably why they did it. There you go. That's what it's like nowadays. Right, I'm going to move on to somewhere else now. Right, your cars. Now, most cars now, we've got alarms on them, isn't there? Now, back in the 70s, when you had Cortinas, that type of thing, there was easily break into one. They didn't have, like, locks. Now you have your key fob, you press it, it locks it all. And it's instantly alarmed. Didn't have them back then, but now you do. But bikes, okay, bikes. Most of the bike I've got an electric bike. You've probably seen mine on many of my videos. I wouldn't leave that anywhere because I watched a video with these lads, okay, to pay a lot of money for all these bike locks. Went to B&Q, by the way, which is where Tickler's Jam was over there, yeah. Locked them, got a professional in with a very cheap, whatever grinder with a load of discs. And it was going through them like they were butter. But to get one that you couldn't, you had to pay like 300 or 400 quid for it. But still, even then, I bet they get frustrated and smash your bike up anyway. I mean, that's what they probably do. I don't know. I'm just, surmising, let's say. But yeah, it goes on, doesn't it? All these tools that they can get hold of now. I'll just, these things that I'm seeing online. But, things have got really bad, haven't they? It has. And I'm going to go somewhere else now. I'm going to show you an old police station when I get round there. And then the recent court building that they've put where the Hewitt's Brewery was that I've just mentioned. Right, I'm now stood here on East Street. Okay, and as I was saying, this is where all Hewitt's Brewery was, or most of it anyway, knocked it down to build a massive court building, look. Yeah. Yeah, but look how big that is, eh? I mean, just to tell someone they've been a naughty boy, slap on the wrist and off you go. Or if it's been that bad, you're off to prison. I don't know where the nearest one is. I think there's still one in Hull, and there used to be one in Lincoln at one time. I mean, I'm not up on all this. But I tell you what I did see though, and I wasn't living round here. I went to have a look at that Rampton one. Wow. I mean, you've never seen a wall so high. It has to have been at least, I don't know, getting on for at least 30, 40 feet high. And this thing was huge. I mean, to get over it, you need a flipping parachute or a really good drone that would pick you up. Okay, so now in Town Hall Square, and I'm going to show you the front of the court building now as we walk past it. And I don't know the difference in these. Like I said, this one's the Crown and what's the other, Magistrates. So I don't know what the differences are, but there it is. Yeah, that was where the UH was all there. Well, some of it was housing down here, by the way. You can't say it was all the UH. There was another street down here as well that's buried. Is it West Street's under here somewhere? Well, yeah, that's where that is. And then let's go across the road to here, and I'll show you something else. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever been inside the town hall. You have time trap in there. They have got cells in there because this used to be a courthouse. Okay, I'll show you in a second when I walk up to it. Okay, I'll just turn this around. Just bear with me a minute. So as you can see, it says courthouse. And it was used as a police station as well, because like I said, there's cells in there. Maybe they used the cells before they came up to the judge. I think I've shown you that in there before. I have done a video on the time trap. But yeah, that's all in there. So you ever come, want to have a look at that, you go in there to the time trap and go and have a look. And there's also some writing in, there's some bricks as well in there, what the prisoners used to carve out before they came in for their trial in there. Remember when you was young and you got caught doing something wrong in the street, say a policeman caught you, get you by the ear like that, drag you off home to your mum and dad, and you get a right clout, wouldn't you? You would. What do they call it, lambasting or something like that? You really would. You get really, you know, smacked across the bottom a lot. But you learn from that, you know, and a policeman, like I said, back then could hit you with the truncheons. You know, it's proper done by you. You did something wrong, and by hell, you went home and you copped for it. You really did, and you never did it again. You do that nowadays, that's abuse completely. You'd be in jail for it. You know, that's like child abuse, and it's all these laws and that now. But say back then, well, not too long ago, I don't think, you could still do that. But now, yeah, you would definitely be carted off. Possibly kids taken off you, this, that and the other, court orders, you name it, it would have happened. It will happen, sorry, now. That's it, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. Anybody remember doing that? You know, or let's say he was in the farmer's field scrumping his apples or nicking his potatoes. He'd come out, grab you and whack you around the head, stuff like that. Get off, you know. Even if you did get caught, that's it. I don't think they can shoot at you. Oh, don't know, can they still shoot at you? I've no idea, but I have seen some of that online. Some of these Auditor lads getting shot at. Wow, I don't know if you've seen some of them. I can't remember all the names of them, but they do, don't they? And then they're threatening to shoot the drone out of the air, and that's naughty and all. You think about it, someone's on the miss, and let's say there's a 747 going over, or an Airbus A380 or something like that, and they hit it, would have been real trouble, wouldn't they? I mean, God and Bennett. That is so bad. But yeah, that happens apparently. Right, so let's go to an old police station now. We'll have a look at that. Okay, now I was on about dark passages. Imagine walking down here. This is Wellergate. Okay, late at night, you know, let's say before street lighting came along, you could have been dragged down there, and God knows what might have happened. See what I mean? Okay, there's lighting on there now. Imagine that back in the day, though. See, that would have been really bad, wouldn't it? But luckily, there's all street lighting. There's a few cameras around here as well, so you probably 9 times out of 10 would get caught. But yeah. Right, so what if, okay, then this is a what if. What if these still existed? In here was the site of the workhouse. Now, you imagine putting, you know, in there that have committed stuff like stealing, things like that, whatever. You put them in there as hard labour, rock breaking, unravelling rope. That's called Money for Old Rope now, I think. It's something like that's where it came from. But yeah, imagine putting them in there to work. There were things like that, breaking up rocks 12 hours a day, maybe longer. And that'd teach them a lesson, all right, wouldn't it? I mean, this has been here since 1913, but it was a previous site of a workhouse in there. See, nowadays, I believe, if they do get taken to prison or whatever, they've got playstations, gyms. I mean, come on. All right, there's a lot of reform gone on in these prisons over the years. And what if they went back to the Victorian times? It really was rough. You know, I don't think they'd do it again, would they? This is just like, oh, great, no rent to pay, no this, or you get a job to do, you come out with qualifications and all sorts of things. Maybe some do, maybe some people do reform, I don't know. But a majority, I guess, wouldn't. Well, no idea. So anyway, here we are. This, the county police. Look at how magnificent building this is. Let's take the camera up. Here we go. And look at that. It's now a solicitor's. I think I've shown you this one before. But yeah, you see, this is where you would have came. And it would have been rough in there. I mean, you wasn't getting trapped very nicely at the time. I don't know what they do nowadays. Some programmes I've seen on the telly, I mean. Have you seen that, is it Appropriate Adult? Have you seen, any of you seen, that's really good, isn't it? I mean, that's probably what it must be like. I mean, the acting in it is absolutely superb, isn't it? They're going to get awards for that, without a doubt, but that's what it's like now. But I mean, back then in here, look, all this forensic stuff or DNA, you did it and that was you. Off you go. Different now, eh? A lot different. And plus the camera footage that you're probably going to get as well, that probably can get you done for things, or there's all sorts now, isn't there? Technology's gone really good. But the only thing I know is that the easiest one is bike nicking, I think. From what I can tell, what my research has done before this video, because I mean, all you got to say is, oh, I've lost my key, I forgot my combination, and there you are, or somebody is, should I say, with a flipping grinder that I just bought from B&Q for 10 quid and a battery. Yeah, too easy, innit? But there's a lot of videos online about that. I'm not just, you know, I'm not just saying it, I've seen it. They show you, these lads, like I mentioned earlier on. Right, let's go. Anyway, I'm going to chuck them in here. Get in the workhouse. Okay, so let's move on to really bad times now for punishment. Okay, a pillory, okay, is a wooden frame which you was tied to, and you was ridiculed by the public. Basically, you was tied to it, people chuck things at you, etc., things like that. But also the stocks, where you put your hands and head through, people chuck things at you, like stones, rotten tomatoes, probably cow dung, who knows, back then, basically anything you could find. And that's what happened. You was in there for quite a long time, and you could get done for things like it says here. Minor offences like swearing and drunkenness. Well, imagine that round Grimsby and Cleethorpes on a Saturday night. They'd be full, wouldn't they, in seconds? Seriously full. Right, so okay, now, let's talk about the dungeons. Okay, the dungeons had things like tongue tearers, God, thumb screws, the hook, the grap chopper, and the rack, and the knee splitter. Oh, I can imagine all these was torturing on the body. I mean, the tongue, you pull your tongue out. Thumb screws, I think most of the people have heard of them ones. But all really bad. This one here, a pair of agonish, as it says on there. Apparently this was like a pair of tweezers, went in your mouth and started pulling around in your mouth, pulling your teeth out, it says on here. Oh, a bit like the dentist round here, isn't it? Probably not by now. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, this knee splitter, oh, dear, that must have really hurt. I mean, imagine that. You know, when you go down on your knees, you fall off your bike. I mean, that does hurt, doesn't it? Or if you get a bad knee nowadays, imagine not doing it on purpose. Oh, dear. Hey, this is it. The knee splitter comprises of 20 spikes on the end of a wooden block. Oh, with 2 large screws. Oh, dear. So it tore into the flesh. Oh, man. This is bad, isn't it? But that's what it was back then. That's just the medieval period, and we've changed a lot since then. But, you know, I think some of you probably say, why don't they bring it back now to some of these crimes that they do? Yeah, I mean, I do get you. You know, that's what, I don't know. A lot of people probably want it as corporal punishment. I was going to show where I am anyway while I'm talking to you. I've come round here, I'm just walking around there. There's the mansion house in there getting redone, which is Whalesby Woods around here. But yeah, so that is some of the really severe tortures and severe punishments. Nowadays, you don't hang anybody. Like I was saying further back, you put into prison, right? It's like a living holiday camp. I think people would tell you that. You know, I mean, it's all changed, isn't it? But what are these people that do severe things? I mean, you killed someone back then, like I've been mentioning on this, you was hanged, death for a death, probably. Nowadays, what do you get, life imprisonment? You're still alive, okay, you can't go anywhere else, but yeah, there you go. Okay, let's move on. Right, okay, so Victorian prisons. Punishment ranged from hard labour, transportation to the colonies, and execution. Well, transportation was a free trip to Australia. Yeah, of all time. I think it was America at first. So Australia, for nothing. What's that now? Loads of money, I believe. But anyway, yeah, that was for punishment. I guess it must have been to one of the hot parts there. Okay, so, inside the workhouse, what was going on in there? Well, they had picking oakum, which means separating rope, you know, unpicking it. And then there was the crank, turning the crank with your hands. And then there's the treadmills. Now, treadmills we use today as recreation in the gym, don't we? Back then, it was, you're on it all day. And also, I think I mentioned, there's public whipping. Okay. And then you're sent to join the army. And, you know, and then death. Basically, never enough work to death back then. And, you know, it was really bad back then, wasn't it? 1780 to 1925, you had hanging. Now, hanging was abolished in the UK, believe it or not that long ago. 1969. Wow. God, man. And then the last public flogging, you know, in the streets, crowds gather watching, was in 1868. I mean, you got tied to a post and whipped. You got hung to watch that. Executions, hanging, etc. was outside, and that was when it got abolished. I've got one here. This isn't in round here, about this is in London, in Newgate. It says here, Catherine Hayes was burnt for murdering her husband in 1795. Oh dear. 1776, they started transporting to the Americas. You know, that was then. And then 1787, new destination was Australia. So, not bad, I suppose. So a lot of people have got families out there that probably originate from all this. But yeah, a lot of punishments, weren't there? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we've come to the end of another video. You enjoyed that one. Please leave your comments below, because I guess there'll be a few you wanting to on this one. Okay, so on that note, I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers to the channel. I really appreciate it. And for all you watching my content, I really appreciate that. So on that note, I will see you all next time on the next video. Bye for now.